Welcome to Season 2 of the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Join us as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We will have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Hi, I'm plain vanilla Mike Collins.
Hello, I'm good old Dan Collins.
And I'm Travis Brabant, bearer of the incompetent cup of iridescent splendor. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt in the next 2 weeks. After we've all presented, we'll decide whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first?
Oh, sorry, that sounds really sad when I just say my name.
Yeah, you guys got to get in the game. I've got one forever.
That's true.
I'll go first.
Yeah, Dan, you go first.
New year, new us, right? New person.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new person.
Brand new life, right?
Yep, an infant child. That's
Here we are. What if I told you that there was an activity that you could do? You don't even need to do it for that much, and you don't even probably need to do it every day, but you should do it every day. That helps manage anxiety. It promotes organizational skills, fine motor skills, cognitive skills, strategic skills.
Wow.
It boosts your attention span. It boosts your confidence, general brain health. And what if I told you that this activity you could do is very fun? What would would you be into that? And it's also just like improves your life all the time, and you've probably already done it.
I'm on board.
I would say it sounds too good to be true.
Well,
what's the catch?
There's no catch. My proposal for a challenge is we all try to get the highest score in Tetris.
Oh.
Tetris has been shown to have so many mental benefits, and it's also super fun.
That's I thought you were going to say something dumb, but that's not dumb. That's actually really scientifically true. I mean, you were overselling it maybe a little bit, but all of that stuff is actually true.
Yeah, I know.
I've heard that Tetris is used to reduce PTSD symptoms in people.
Is it Tetris or is it just any video game, or is it Tetris specifically?
It's specifically Tetris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Tetris fits very nice. Sorry, Dan. I'm going to take your challenge here.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Tetris fits very nicely into a colorful, rhythmic kind of. It engages parts of the brain that I think they discovered that if someone had been through something traumatic, scientists encourage them to play Candy Crush or Tetris or that sort of logical, colorful, rhythmic style game as a means of preventing a large amount of traumatic memories from developing. Okay. I forget all the finer points of it, but those sorts of games have actually been used.
Helps your brain take those traumatic memories and kind of organize them the same way you're organizing the Tetris blocks. It also helps with people with substance abuse. If you're trying to get over smoking or something, play a bunch of Tetris, and it apparently helps relieve cravings. I don't know.
All right.
It's like a miracle game. And it's
also,
fun.
it has a sweet
Tetris
theme song.
Yeah, I know.
That is true.
Hey, that's a good one, Dan.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thanks. I had a month to think of it, so.
That one's pretty cut and dry. If I had to come up with a complaint or a negative about it, it's I wonder how much we'll have to talk about it other than this was fun and here's my score. All right, everybody.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. It's an interesting concept. I don't know if I buy that it's a panacea for all of life's problems, but
you don't know. When's the last time you tried?
Yeah, when was the last time you played Tetris, Mike?
It's been a little while, I guess. I don't know. All right, Travis, what do you got?
Yeah, so we are coming off the holiday season, a season of excess. Lots of food was eaten and, plenty of fun was had. but I think it's time to cut back, time to tighten the belt, and I don't know, just kind of bring ourselves back to center. And I think the way we should do that is by planning out all of the food that we're going to eat for the next 2 weeks rigidly. So plan exactly what you're going to eat for breakfast and lunch and dinner and try to only eat that stuff. And whoever can stick to that plan the best wins.
This is
This
one that
plays into the alleviating was it, decision fatigue and stuff like that. You front load all that and you make a plan, and then you don't have to like, I don't know, I'm gonna eat for lunch or what should I have for dinner. You just have like, here's what I've scheduled for food. I ingest that and I get on to more important work.
I like this. This is one we brought up before. It's come back
Hmm.
around. I I think this one has a lot of value to be had from it. I do like it.
That's something I should probably be doing because at the moment I ate all of my groceries, so I'm just eating all of the like weird snacks I got gifted for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like I have these strawberry shortbread things that are my dinner.
Yeah, so this challenge could help with uh, getting you to eat healthy food, and that you would plan it out and you'd have know exactly what you're going to have for dinner or whatever. It could help you with budgeting, and that you could plan out and you weren't, well, I don't have anything prepared, so I'm just going to go to, whatever fast food place.
Yeah.
So the benefits for this challenge would be numerous, and I do genuinely like the idea of like not having to even wonder about what you're going to eat or whatever. You just remove that entirely, and then it's also like I think I suffer from this, and I think many people do also, where like I will just keep eating sometimes, like past when I'm like satisfied or whatever. I'm just like, I don't know, I'm bored. I've still got some room in there. I can keep eating. Whereas
That's
if you do this thing, he's like, all right, I have eaten my fill and now I'm done.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how like you gain weight is you just sort
yeah.
of keep eating food even if you're not hungry.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely how you gain weight, and that's probably why I'm kind of fat because I do that all the time. It's like, well, I got nothing to do. Gonna go eat some snacks.
Yeah.
That's a
So
that's
let's
a
let's
hobby.
break that.
Um, that's pretty good, Travis. I like that. I'm gonna jump into mine here. So I had two to bring to the table in case one of you guys chose the one that I thought was gonna be the best one, but I think it's too similar to Travis's, so I'm gonna go with my second one. So we're coming off the holidays here, and it was nice to see some family that maybe you don't see that often, and and it made me think it'd be nice to get that connection more with the friends that maybe you don't talk to that often. And
Hmm.
you can call people on the phone, or you can call, or email them, text them, whatever your favorite method is. But I think one of the best ways to connect with people is to send letters.
Hmm.
So my proposition is that we send letters, or actually what I think would be more fun and kind of more doable because there's less implied with it, is to send postcards to as many people as possible. So like,
Okay.
because with a postcard you don't have to write like a big long message. You can just like, hey, what's up? Was thinking about you. Sent you a postcard.
Remember
You
when we
got
did this?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The end.
See you
Love,
never.
Mike. But because I think getting a handwritten note from somebody, it really is you know it's more of a connection, I guess, and I love it. The few times that, because nobody sends me letters anymore
Yeah.
except for our cousin Steve, who
Yeah, I was
sends
just
me.
gonna say Steve will just randomly send a letter and it's actually like a super nice thing.
Yeah, it's super
It's
nice.
Like
delightful
it
getting
warms
That's
an
your heart.
actual letter.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he sent me one like last year, and that's actually kind of the reason. I was just thinking about how nice that was, and I was like, I should just do that, send people letters. So anyway, that's my proposition. Send the most postcards or letters to as many people as you can.
When was the last time
Okay.
you sent a letter to somebody?
It's been a minute.
I don't
So
even
we sent
remember.
like 50 of them last month for
Oh,
Christmas cards.
okay.
Well, yeah, that doesn't count though. Did you actually have a note
I'll
in there?
have you know, we have like our regular cousins and family and friends and stuff like that. I sent one to one of my old coworkers when I was working as an intern while going to college. There was a guy that I worked pretty closely with, and then when I got a job down here, which is now 6 years ago or whatever, we just like sent an email a couple times, but then just kind of drifted apart, obviously. He's an older guy. He's retired now, but I added him to our list of Christmas card recipients,
Oh,
and he got it. And then he sent a letter back, basically like, "Hey, like he was very. It seemed very pleased to receive the letter, and like was really happy, and like wanted to reconnect, basically." So
yeah,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. So that's my challenge.
All right.
So we need
I
to pick
I
one now.
like that one. That's really nice.
I think that's a really good habit to get into. Like, it is weirdly like gratifying to receive something from somebody. I was like 40 cents of a stamp or something like that, but like it's like the thank you notes and the letters and postcards and stuff. Like all of those are nice to receive.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because you only ever get crap from the mail.
it's
Yeah,
true.
bills and junk mail.
Except when you
Yeah.
like order stuff and basically you're sending yourself a love letter. It's like,
Yeah,
ooh.
yeah.
So let's pick one of these. I like all of ours this time.
I think I think no to Dan's, and here's why.
Fine.
Because
Jeez.
it can be, yeah, I'm telling you why, Dan. Uh, it disproportionately is rewarded by more time invested into it.
This is true.
I
This
don't know
is
about
true.
Yeah,
that. I mean, I don't know how good you guys are at Tetris.
I'm not
Maybe
good.
I think your brain has to. I think it's more of like the person behind the fingers.
yeah, but the brain and the fingers need to get in sync.
They
I don't
also
know.
need
It's
they
like,
also need to find time to be in front of a screen and play Tetris, which is
yeah, without a toddler hanging on their leg.
I
You
was
could play Tetris with a toddler.
just this
I'm sure.
afternoon. I was trying to play a video game that I purchased over Christmas as a racing game, and as I was doing that, I had three children literally on top of me, and all three of their heads were in front of my face while I was trying to like look at the screen.
Yeah, I also was trying because we didn't have work today. I was trying to play a video game, and my youngest daughter was like grabbing the cable for my mouse, and I'd be like trying to like do stuff, and she would like pull on it and throw off my aim and stuff. Video games are hard
It's
to
just
do when
hard
you have
mode.
kids.
Yeah. Side note, speaking of we didn't have work today. I called Travis at 7:30 this morning because I drove the 40 minutes to our office and the parking lot was completely empty and I had no idea what was going on. So I called Travis. Found out that we were not
And when
working.
I saw that it was you calling, I was like, "Oh crap, do we have work today?"
No, we did not. Is the answer.
That
anyway,
sucks.
anyway. Uh yeah, I kind of gotta agree with Travis. So if I had to pick between you two, I'm gonna go with Travis's, just for that exact same reason. It's a time investment, although it does sound like fun.
I mean, I honestly think I like Mike's the best out of all three of them.
Okay,
That just sounds like a nice thing to do.
Okay.
it does sound nice. Are we doing that? Should I argue, or are we just going with it?
Well, I mean,
Uh,
what's your argument? You can try and sway us. I mean,
What
I've
is
already
the
voted for you, but
case for self improvement?
well, I think
There,
I think it's kind of obvious. I would say,
it's doing something nice for other people. It can potentially lead to like strengthening of interpersonal relationships or whatever.
which is
But personal
probably
self improvement.
yeah,
well, maintaining connections with friends and family is one of the like most important things for mental health.
that's
That's
true.
true.
It also it's directly linked to longevity. Like
Yeah,
you will live longer if you maintain better relationships with people.
it's
Yeah.
true.
Stronger relationships.
And also just putting more joy out in the world,
That's true.
Can't go wrong with that.
All right, you convinced me. Let's do it.
You
All
hate
right.
joy, Travis?
I
Just
do.
kidding.
Yeah, I just want to end everyone's joy. That's why I'm done. I'm glad we're done with Christmas. Tired of all that joy to the world stuff. Good riddance. All right,
all right.
let's do. Okay, do we need to hammer it down? Is it pure number of letters sent? Is it the most obscure person or connection that you sent something to? How do we grade this?
I'm gonna say just straight up quantity, the most letters sent, which
Oh, hold
again
on.
kind of defeats the.
Then you're getting into time investment territory
Yeah,
That's fine. I
and
mean,
money.
well, I
It's
mean,
not
what's a letter?
free to mail a letter.
that's true.
Was it
It's like
25 cents?
no, it's like a buck.
It's
I
like
don't know.
40 something, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
But yeah, no, that is true. It does take time to write letters. It doesn't take a lot of time though, especially if you do like I was saying postcards, because you can just scribble out a sentence, slap a stamp on it, and chuck it in the mailbox. I mean, that's all it takes. Where versus a letter where you you gotta lick it. You gotta
See, but
lick
I
it.
think that in the spirit of increasing that interpersonal connection, isn't that part of an important part of it? Other than like, here's a piece of paper that I saw that
Licking
made
it.
me think of you. No, writing something actually meaningful on it.
Oh yeah, I mean you should write something meaningful, but you don't have to write a lot. I would.
Because if you don't actually put effort into like making it personal and like meaningful, then you're kind of like saying like, hey, can you throw this piece of paper away from me? I'm gonna send it through the postal system.
Yeah, it can't be a form letter that you send out to everyone. Dear friend.
Dear to whom it may concern.
If you don't forward this on to 5 people, your house will burn down.
Yeah, okay. Let's. I think we need several. It's got to be a what's it called, like a matrix of scores. So I would say quantity, quality, obscurity. Maybe that's all we need. What
You
do
just keep listing off words. You're doing great.
Yes.
Sincerity.
Ooh, that's good. Nice.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, like, how are we gonna judge? I wrote the most sincere postcards.
Well, we'll just,
I think we can tell. I mean, if you really mean it. Well, no, it's like if you like, I bullied this person in high school, and I sent him a letter to apologize and ask whatever. Like that's obviously very sincere, right? We can tell. I like those: quantity, quality, obscurity, sincerity.
all right. Now we need an honorific. And it's
Yeah,
gotta
let's
be a
knock
good
this
one.
honorific out as easily as you came up with those 4 kind of criteria.
The letter lord of
Postmaster
letters.
General.
The
The postal patriot or something.
the postal. What's like a word for like destroy? Or like conquer.
Or the postal paragon.
Yeah, that's good. The paragon of postal.
Mailbox destroyer.
The mailbox smasher.
Postage pummeler.
The Saturday Evening Post.
Sincerity smasher.
I like that. It's kind of like sincerity. Yeah, the sincerity succubus. I don't know.
The letter launcher.
Ooh, kind of like that one. Letter launcher.
The
The letter launch pad. The letter luchador.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's close, but like a luchador is like actively avoiding letters, right?
No. You're thinking the bullfighter. The luchador is a
Oh yeah,
wrestler.
Wrestler, the
Yeah.
masked wrestler.
Yeah.
I like the image of a luchador running down and putting letters in mailboxes.
It's doing a backflip and smashing
back-
it in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, like a pile driver into a mailbox.
Yeah.
The mailbox pile driver. That's also a good option.
The post pile driver. The pile driver of post.
How about just the mailman?
No,
No.
get out.
Okay.
You're off the show, Dan.
Uh,
My grandpa was a mailman.
yeah.
So is mine.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, he left the army and retired from the post office. He was like a rural mail carrier.
Interesting.
How about the male children, the male child? This doesn't make any sense.
I kind of like the kind of image of innocence type. I don't know where I'm going here.
The child,
I,
the child of, I don't know. What's another word for letters?
I don't know where you're going with this, Dan, but I'm gonna
the prim postmaster. I'm still happy with the postage pummeler.
Yeah, or the
What was
letter
the other one?
luchador.
The letter luchador's good.
postage pummeler, the postage pile driver, I think is actually what we said.
I like the postage pummeler more. That's just me though. What are other letter card?
Envelope.
The postcard pummeler.
That sounds like a serial killer sort of.
How would you say the luchador of letters en español?
La luchador de letter, whatever letter is in Espanol.
Oh, you almost nailed it. I'd have believed in you.
I like other languages. I feel like sometimes it describes the vibe that I'm going for better, even though it's just same words. Yeah, I do like the postage pile driver, the letter luchador. That's pretty good.
What was the letter launcher?
Letter launcher. That's pretty good too. Letter launch pad. Letter.
I like letter launcher as like a just like sending things out into the void because we're like sending a volume of letters. Like, hey, post service and UPS, you guys haven't had a busy enough few weeks. Here's 100 letters, which is a drop in the bucket, but
Not.
It's
Yeah.
it's Carta luchador, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Carta S letter in Espanol.
Perfect pronunciation, Dan. The
The
postage.
letter.
I do like the
rocket
postage pile
launcher.
driver. Postage pile driver.
Postage.
what
I
about
like.
the postal pile driver?
Postal pile driver. That's pretty good too.
Yeah, I like that.
Postal. Yeah. Postal pile driver. I'm into that.
This does sort of sound like, on the luchador. Maybe it's because I have luchador in my head, but like a professional wrestler. That sounds like a signature move. And it's time for the postal pile driver.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. I like that one. Postal
right.
pile driver.
I'm happy
All
with it.
All right, that's it. Okay, forecast. I don't know. It's another one of those ones that could go any way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of who can write letters the best and the
I
most.
think the winning criteria here is choosing who to send letters to. Right?
Yeah.
That's what's going to be the most impressive. And I'm not going to give you guys any ideas, but
Okay, so we have our challenge, we have our metric, we have our honorific. Let's do this.
All right, well, here we are, season 2, starting it all again. We took a little bit of a break there for the holidays, but we're back, baby. A couple of things. Thanks for listening. Thanks for continuing to listen. You guys are all just super duper. We are going to do things a little bit different this season, unless people hate it. We're actually going to announce what the next challenge is at the end of the episode. So stick around to the very end, and I'll put a little snippet in there that tells you what we're doing next. People were asking for that so that they wouldn't have to go on Twitter to see the post that says what we're doing next, so that people could actually do it with us. So if you listen to that, then you can join us on what we're doing if you want. You don't have to, obviously. Another thing, a little announcement, inspired by the ice bath challenge that we did. We are going to, me, Mike, and Travis, maybe a couple other people we can convince to go with us, are going to do the Polar Plunge on February 11th in Rochester, Minnesota. If you are interested in joining, you have to register online. You can try to raise money for the Special Olympics. So it's kind of a nice little thing to do, and it's going to be probably a really fun time. You don't have to register. You can just kind of come and say hi and laugh at us when we get really cold if you want. And I think that's it. So, yeah. Let's get back to the episode. Okay, bye.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then, we've been sending letters every which way. Let's discuss our initial thoughts first, and then we'll figure out who was the most prolific pen pal. Who wants to go first?
Prolific pen pal may have been a better title.
It's too late now.
Well, we weren't going for prolific. We were going for best.
Yeah.
But I mean, quantity is definitely a factor of that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
I guess.
I guess.
I mean, I'm not going to push on that because I don't think that I won on quantity, but time will tell.
I want Travis to go first.
Dang it. All right, here are my initial thoughts, and then I guess I'll say how, what I did at the end of this. I don't have a lot of thoughts on this overall challenge. It's kind of nice sending letters. A thought that I had while doing this challenge was I often tend towards like a Marine Corps communication style. And there's often times like when I think about sending someone a letter, it's not in a pleasant way, or like it's usually like, wanting to send someone a cordial note that I disagree with their whole existence. But this challenge was nice in that it was a break from that, and it was a reason to focus on positivity. And I did find that while I was writing my letters that it's easier to articulate and say things that don't easily come up in conversation. So things that I would never, not that I would never say to a person, but it's just easier to say something in a letter than it is to force things to come up in conversation, I guess.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, well,
So that was kind of nice.
You're forcing yourself to do it anyway, so it's nothing but forced speech, basically.
Yeah, but this way you don't get them interrupting you. You can just get it all out.
Yeah.
And I also found that the act of writing a letter was a nice treat in that it forced me to crystallize my thoughts. You have to articulate it in your brain, and when you're doing that within the context of sending someone a thankful letter for the things that they've done for you or whatever, it by nature forces you to really focus on and internalize your gratitude because you have to articulate it and put it on paper. So it goes beyond just thinking about things you should be grateful for and really forces you to focus on them. So
Did you
that was a nice
write
thing.
full form letters?
Yes. Was that not part of this?
I mean, it certainly could be, and it'll probably go in your favor.
I definitely didn't. I wrote postcards.
I did postcards as well, but I did a couple letters.
Weak.
So what I was gonna say is I agree. The without getting too much in mind, writing little nice notes telling people how much you appreciate them really is it's a way to kind of sit and reflect on how important other people are to you, and I think that's very nice, isn't it? It's good. It's good to do that.
Yeah. One challenge I did have was it's hard to find people's address these days.
Yeah.
It's sort of expected that you will just reach out to people through social media or an email or something to physically look for an address for people. I often found I mean, I spent probably as much time looking for people's address as I did writing them their
Yeah.
letter.
Well, I have a lot of
And like,
people's people that I know's addresses saved, but yeah, like not everybody.
I mean, I wrote to a few like, air quotes celebrities. I think some of these are just like internet people or whatever, but many of those people it's probably like a 50-50 chance of whether or not the letter will actually make it to them. Some of them I'd like send it to their publisher and like mention like, in care of this person or whatever. So we'll see, I guess. Um, One other random thought about the challenge. Uh, isn't it just kind of crazy how the postal system is a thing that you can just spend 60 cents and put a piece of paper into a garbage can and it'll travel around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm always kind of amazed by that.
it's basically magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I don't know if you guys did or not, but I haven't sent them yet because the post office was closed today, and I needed to buy additional postage. But I have 3 letters that I'm sending internationally.
Oh, nice.
And that to me is like even more crazy. That just like your piece of paper can cross oceans to reach somebody that's never actually met you before. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Other random thoughts, and this maybe you guys can't relate to this, but like I wrote my letters last night, and my hand was like killing me by the end of 2 hours of writing or whatever. I have to imagine people had really strong grips from the amount of letter writing or correspondence that they used to do. It's hard to write, a lot.
Well, especially like my handwriting is so bad. It's so
Yep.
bad, and I hand wrote everything, and I'm just in a couple of them, I just apologize. Like this is my handwriting. I type on keyboards for a living. I'm sorry.
And I'm good at it.
I'm
I
real
can
good
type
at it.
real fast. Yeah, so that was just I was like thinking about it last night, like, man, my hand hurts. It's like cramping up and like um I'll start getting into some of the letters that I sent, but I sent 5 of the same letter to certain individuals, some of whom might be on this call, to
Ah,
um, initiate a D&D campaign of sorts.
ooh.
Um, so I sent basically the same exact letter to the 5 individuals, and by the end of like, so it was supposed to be the same exact letter, but I would like misspell things or would like word things differently, and by the end of the 5th one, my hand was just like tired of writing, so I started just shortening. And I understand why old timey people use shorthand and like other space and efficiency gains when writing. Because if you got to write entire like, if your whole life is writing letters to people, you probably got to find better ways to do it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they invented the keyboard.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, people used to have to dip their quill in inks too, so there's a whole nother level of movement involved.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm glad
So
that's not the case anymore.
yeah, that would have been a nightmare. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have just like finger painted. I went to use a quill. I would have used my finger.
However, if you had done that, you'd probably be a shoe-in for winning this competition.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Okay, so I guess I'll just list off who I sent letters to. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, well, yeah, and you can talk about the
Sure.
letters if there's some of renown.
Sure.
I mean, if there's
Um,
a lot of them, you don't need to list every name or whatever.
sure. I didn't send. There's like many friends and family who I didn't send a letter to, partially because we like I mentioned at the beginning of this, we just sent Christmas cards out like less than a month ago. So many of them just received a letter with, whatever from us. So I didn't rehash emails to everybody or mail letters to everybody.
Nails.
Yep, got it in one. So I instead focused more on the gratitude angle and decided to send letters to people whose work that I've enjoyed over the years,
Very nice.
authors, musicians, YouTube personalities, etc. So in that camp is Brandon Sanderson, Devin
Excellent.
Townsend, Alex Horn from Taskmaster,
Yeah.
Larry Correa, Weird Al Yankovic, James Hoffman, who's a YouTube coffee guy. I was gonna send a letter to on YouTube. He's Wheezy Waiter. I think his name's Craig, but I couldn't find an address for him, so that made me sad. Because I
I,
think that. Go ahead.
I sent a letter to Al Yankovic as well.
I also sent a letter to Weird Al.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Well,
Yeah,
we just saw him in person just a little while. I mean, we're basically best friends at this point.
actually, so after I wrote the letter, the next day I was on a Weird Al kick, and I listened to like a lot of his music all day long. It's pretty great.
His new. Have you
So-
seen the movie? It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
And then otherwise, there's a couple other YouTube folks, Sean Plott, Travis Willingham from Critical Role. And then I also wrote letters to my grandma on the one side and my grandpa and grandma on the other side. Just kind of heartfelt thanks for, the things they've done for me over the years and the things they've taught me. And then, like I said, the 5 letters to the old D&D group. Well, 4, because someone who was on this call didn't reply to me with their address.
Did you
Dan.
ask me?
Are you asking
Oh.
about me?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Did you text me? I don't ever. I don't read my texts.
Maybe I should have sent you a letter and asked for it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I couldn't.
Sent up smoke signals. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send you a raven or something. Anyway, so yeah, that has been most of my experience. It was nice. I don't think I'll keep writing letters to people unless prompted to. I can see the appeal of like keeping up written correspondence, but also it's a lot of work.
I
don't know.
feel the opposite. I think I was surprised at just how easy it is to send a letter. It's something that I don't do because it's like, well, that's just like a few like steps that I got to take. I mean, I guess compared to like a phone call, it's a couple extra steps, but it's not like a lot of work. I mean,
Especially if somebody was to respond to it, then I feel like, because I sent one to like grandma and grandpa, and I could definitely see grandma responding to me, which would be pretty excellent. And it'll just be
Yeah.
pen pals with grandma.
yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, I think that would be motivation to continue doing it for myself.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Travis, what was the final count of letters that you did?
I think, oh boy, this is the thing I should have done beforehand.
Dan,
So-
you want to jump into yours while Travis counts?
Mine
Sure.
was 16 total. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm jumping back in.
Um,
Also, not postcards. I guess I should mention this too. Every one of these was just blank page letters. Greetings, sir or ma'am. Thank you for what, full on letter form. I
Yeah.
wasn't just like sending a postcard from my living room.
yeah. So I think on that point, surpassed me by far because I will say I wrote pretty short messages on almost all of mine. But I did write some poems. I wrote some heartfelt messages. I started writing it to like friends and family. And so I sent a few of those up, but then I sort of changed gears, and I thought like the whole concept was kind of to like keep in touch, and like just sort of a human connection with the people that we know, right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking I can use this medium to go a step further and try to cultivate new friendships with people who I think would enrich my life and I could enrich their lives. So
Mhm.
that's why I sent a letter to Al Yankovic and also to other people that I know of them, and they might eventually become some good friends of mine, including Justin Bieber, Dwayne Johnson,
There you
Jim Carrey, Patrick Stewart, Bill Murray. I sent them all letters.
go.
Most of the messages were pretty short, where it was just sort of, like, "Hey, Bill, um, big fan. I like your movies. Keep it up," kind of stuff like that. And then, but
I
like,
told Weird Al Yankovic that I believe someday his music will be used to generate power once human beings learn to harness joy for energy.
that seems likely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a
I
better source of
mentioned
renewable energy.
I mentioned to Justin Bieber that we did a podcast episode about him, so maybe he'll listen to it and then contact us. Maybe we can interview him or something.
Boy, that would be a change of life direction, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he'd really be stepping down a little ways.
nah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you approach them like you're on the same level, because they're just folks, just like you and me. So when those guys all get back to me, so I'm going to be cultivating this friendship. We can maybe send. We could probably send postcards back and forth, or like they can give me a call, that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
Sure.
that was kind of the direction I ended up going, um, and it was actually, I will say, a lot of fun because it's pretty
Yeah.
easy. You can look up what address to send these people letters to.
Yep.
Not every
Mhm.
famous person has a mailing address because not every famous person wants any of that. But I had a lot of fun doing that, and it's kind of like something about doing that sort of made them made them become sort of like a real human being to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
know
know
what
what I
you're
mean?
talking Yeah, I do know what you mean.
It's kind of like seeing a band in concert that you've loved for a long time, and then like you see them, and like, oh, those are just humans that I'm seeing with my eyeballs.
Yeah, so
But
we've
it's a
seen
different
Weird
kind of
Al
connection.
we've seen Weird
Yeah,
Al at live, and we've all written him letters, so we're basically family at this point.
that's what yeah, exactly. Um,
So I have a weird thing. I was there. I saw Weird Al with my eyes, but now I still have this. He's still just a guy on the internet who makes weird music. I didn't make that transition. Like, he's still like a mythic creature to me.
I think the final step is you actually have to physically like touch him, and then he becomes real to you. My total was 15. I would have had more because they didn't take very long to write. Because I didn't write letters. I wrote on a postcard, and some of the messages that I sent to people were, I wouldn't say necessarily heartfelt. I did write some that were saying, I love you and that sort of thing. Some of them were just sort of the thoughts that I had on my mind at the time.
I also did postcards mostly. I wrote 2 letters, um, basically, but I actually used the postcards as the letters, but I sent them because I included other things in them. So, but yeah, so I started off. I wrote messages to all of my siblings and my mom and dad and my grandma and grandpa, and then I did my in-laws, all my wife's siblings, and her parents. Um, so and then I just wrote kind of letters letting everyone know how much I appreciate them. And I also wrote some to a few of my cousins. So, and they're all just kind of along the same vein, and more or less said, thanks for being part of my life. I love you or whatever. But, I tried to have a personalized message for each one.
Sure.
So that was good. And kind of like we were saying before, I think sitting down and thinking through what you're going to say to somebody, and from a starting point of gratitude and appreciation, I think it's a nice thing to do, because I feel like I appreciate those people. Maybe I don't give enough thought of how much I appreciate them. It's kind of the same thing we were talking about, doing a gratitude journal. I feel like it would be the same thing, except this way it's not just for yourself. It actually, you're telling the person how much you appreciate them, and I think that's pretty cool. So I got done with all those people, and I also sent some to some good friends, i.e., everybody on the podcast. And then so I ran out of close friends and family, so I started. The first one I wrote to a celebrity was to Justin Bieber, and but that one I was trying to be like, I also told him that we have a podcast, so it's got to come from two people now, so maybe he'll actually listen.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Maybe I should have done it, and I should dear Justin, you have a nice voice, but I think your music is mediocre. Respectfully, Travis.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what I did say? Like, I basically told him I have a podcast and we challenge ourselves to listen to your music exclusively for 2 weeks. And I apologized for judging him before I had really gotten to know his music and kind of saw who he was as a person.
Well, that's kind of
So I
sweet.
was trying, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. It was a nice sentiment, whether he gets it or not. And then I also sent one to Weird Al, obviously. That was just a pure fan letter, and I was just gushing at him. And then I also sent one to the president,
Yeah.
which I probably shouldn't have sent. Wasn't like bad. It was just not
Yo,
immensely,
Yes.
What's up,
not
Joe?
immensely, yeah, not immensely professional. That's okay. It was one of the last ones that I did. And then I think the most obscure one that I sent was actually to Chris and Martin Kratt of Zaboomafoo fame, or
Oh.
Wild
Nice.
Kratts. And it actually wasn't originally my idea. It was Finn, my oldest son, his idea, and he wrote a letter to them, and then we all just kind of jumped in. So he wrote a letter to him. It was adorable. It basically said, "Dear Chris and Martin, we have 2 cats. You can come to our house if you want. Here's our address. Love, Finn."
That is adorable.
And he wrote it himself, and it was all spelled wrong. It was pretty cute. So, and then my wife wrote like a 2-page letter to them, and then I wrote a short one just saying,
Are they still doing Zaboomafoo?
No,
No,
not
they have
Zaboomafoo.
an animated show now.
They have an animated show, and then they have some other stuff. They have some like stuff on the internet as well. So they're
Well,
still teaching kids about animals.
That's like way old.
Yeah, because that was like from when we were kids.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, so the postcards that I sent out, I did them. I bought these ones on Amazon, and I actually didn't get anything out until the second week because I was waiting for these to come. I started planning on who I was gonna send stuff to, but I got these postcards with the art of Louis Wayne. Let me find an example here for you guys because it is the absolute best.
Is it cool?
Yeah.
It's a weird
Oh, I just
reaction.
so no. There's actually a movie out there with him being portrayed by Benedict Cumberbatch, and basically he paints pictures of cats,
Ugh.
and they're all kind of like that, and they're
Fancy cats.
fancy cats doing almost
like it.
anthropomorphic things.
I don't like it.
And I don't know. I got like a ton of his pictures because I got like 25 postcards, and they're all kind of weird and just on that, what's it called, the uncanny valley.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that hits the uncanny valley pretty hard for me. I don't like it.
So
It seems fine.
So
It's sort of
that's
like the Berenstain Bears, but more lifelike.
Yeah, but like that's not how cats' bodies look. That's a human's body with a cat's.
yeah, their arms don't bend in that way. Oh, here's a good
Yeah.
one. Here's another one for you guys.
We'll
then the other
put
cats
some of these
are-
on the show notes. So
Yeah.
if you want to see some of these pictures, you can just look at the links in the bottom of the episode.
What are they doing? What are they doing there?
Yeah, that second one looks more like a seance than
Yeah,
I think it is.
that looks
actually.
like bad business.
that.
All right, well,
I
this
don't
has
like
made me
this.
excited to receive your letter. Like,
Stop putting them on Discord. Stop it.
So anyway, that's what I sent him on. So I was trying to yeah, that's basically what I did. So I yeah.
what
Now you-
what was your number?
My number was 20 postcards and 2 letters.
Okay.
So
Mine was 16 letters.
I did 15
So I
postcards. I think I failed hard on this one. I thought I had a whole unique idea to send it to celebrities, but you guys kind of did the same thing. So
yeah, not only that, we all sent it to the exact same person.
that's true. Great minds, though, right?
Yeah. So I think Dan, I think you get to choose how much letter versus postcard counts for.
Well, let's restate the winning criteria, because we had said the sincerity, the volume, sincerity, obscurity, and there's another one, and I don't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. We'll go with those 3.
yeah.
So you've got me in volume. I would
Yes.
say that the size of my volume is slightly larger. As far as I'm guessing, the words per letter is higher in my count.
I wouldn't doubt it. Although I did run out of space on pretty much every single one of them. So I didn't just do a couple lines. There was a few that I did just a couple lines, but like to the president. so,
I think
so
each each of my letters ended up being following a similar structure, and it was generally like kind of 2 paragraphs and then like a sign off or something like that. So I can't really guess as to how many sentences.
yeah.
Anyway, so Dan, I think you factor these facts in. Obscurity.
Well, do both
You
of you
had
guys think that you won?
I
That's
mean,
my
I
question
I
to
feel
you.
like I think we are both equally sincere.
well,
Travis,
we're doing volume. Or are we on sincerity?
or well,
Well,
yeah,
Mike,
volume.
yeah, I
uh,
mean,
That's
I
it might be I'd say maybe a wash.
I think so
yeah,
too.
I think so because I mean, the if we're talking about like difficulty or like mental energy involved, I think writing to multiple different people requires the most. You know what I mean? If we're talking about like volume and energy put into it,
Yeah, I agree that makes
sending it
sense.
to multiple places is much more difficult than writing another paragraph on one thing. I
But
think.
if the intention of the challenge was to, create and maintain connections, you can do that better with more content in the letter. People are more likely to, as we said, become our best friends, based on more than just a passing greeting.
Well, mine wasn't just a passing greeting. I would say I was concise with my rhetoric.
All right.
All right,
Um
let's get into sincerity, because that sort of ties into it, right?
Yes.
I will say the content for most of mine was, as I said, largely explaining my gratitude and the impact that their work has had on me. So I would say it was very sincere. For I think every person, it was I had cited specific examples as far as how their work had, been important to me at various points in my life. Um, for like Alex Horn, for instance, I mentioned that I learned of the show Taskmaster in the early days of the pandemic, and Holly and I spent many a night watching Taskmaster as the world sequestered itself outside or whatever. Like,
yeah, actually you telling me about Taskmaster, I had a very similar experience with it.
Yeah, show's great.
but
I think I'm willing to concede the sincerity. I'm not to say that mine weren't sincere, but Travis, I think, went into more detail just due to, like, like you're saying, the like how it's affected your life and stuff like that. Mine was just more like, thanks for this, you know, that kind of thing.
okay,
I will concede that point.
I will allow you to concede. What was the last one?
Obscurity.
Okay.
I mean, Zaboomafoo is pretty obscure. But maybe that's because I don't have kids and I don't watch kids programming.
So let's see, the 3 most obscure on my list are probably James Hoffman, Sean Plott, and maybe Devin Townsend.
Yeah, he's fairly famous. I don't know those other guys. I don't know who they are.
Yeah. I mean, Sean Plott is a guy that plays video games on the internet and he's just a delight. He he's always having fun and he's always fun to watch. And I've been watching him, play and discuss video games since like college. And then James Hoffman, like I said, he makes coffee videos on the internet and he's very British and very entertaining. I don't know. Check his stuff out if you enjoy coffee. But he is definitely, I would put him as obscure. But I will say one thing that you did, Mike, was you did more obscure family connections. Mine are more celebrity.
That's true. I tried to send to as many people that would probably understand what I was trying to do without being kind of weird. So, you know what I mean? uh, yeah, I don't know, man. I do kind of think that Zboomafoo is pretty obscure, just because it's a kids program, you know. And I would say Justin Bieber is pretty obscure comparatively to
I
what
don't
he
know that
did.
we could say Justin
I
Bieber
mean,
is
I don't
obscure.
know. Obscure is it's a weird thing to judge this on, I
It
think.
is subjective, and Dan, you are the subject. You need to pick.
Yeah.
I'm the subject. Okay. I don't know if that's the correct use of the way subjective is
It
meant to
is.
be
Just
used.
go with it.
No, it is. That's you. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Never mind.
I mean,
I'm right.
I think the most important thing to in my judgment of this is the heartfeltness, sincerity. I mean, if we're just going to go off my subjective opinion here, and I think Travis did that, and I think the fact that Travis didn't write any postcards. Yeah, I mean, I think it's Travis because the
Fine.
if we're talking about obscurity being important, I don't think I know any of the people that you said, but I think I think the heartfelt full form letters with to people with true gratitude. I don't know. I think Travis knocked it out of the park.
Oh, that's nice.
Uh,
I thought I was gonna get crushed
all
in
right.
this challenge.
All right. I'll let you have it, Travis. I won't fight it. It's fine. You did. You take the first one this year.
Travis is still
Keep this trainer rolling. Cool. That feels nice. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on this one?
I feel well just after talking to you, I feel like I put hardly any effort into it, but I think this is it's a fun and easy thing to do, and I haven't got any feedback because I don't think there's been enough time for my letters to get to where they're going. But I mean, I think we talked about before, like having received just a letter, somebody saying, "Hey, how's it going?" Or anything really other than like a corporation sending you like an advertisement. It just kind of is nice. I don't know. We can support the postal service.
Yeah.
I spent like $17 on my postcards, so that's
See, I bought normal stamps because I didn't know that you need special cheap stamps for postcards.
I bought pre-stamped postcards.
Well, see, well,
They
you
were
didn't
like
get the
70 cents each or something like that.
you didn't
Yeah,
get the
I'm
cool
glad
pictures
you
then.
chose me to win because I had to lick all of the envelopes and all that stuff. I put in the pain and bad taste. I suffered for this one, so I'm glad that I won.
I found this website called Post Crossing, which it's pretty cool. Basically, you sign up, and then you send a postcard to somebody else who has signed up, and you put like the ID of the postcard, and it's just a random person anywhere in the world, and then you will also receive one if you send one. So that's kind of like how it works. So if somebody's looking for kind of a fun thing to do to connect to somebody somewhere in the world, that's a fun thing. I was going to do that for the competition, but I kind of ran out of time. So I just discovered it like 2 days ago. So postcrossing.com.
Post crossing.
Yeah.
That seems like a really good idea.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the idea of pen pals, actually. This made me kind of want to try to reach out to other humans a little more. I feel like I'm kind of, I've said this before, in my own little cocoon because I'm a cubicle troll. So it's good to connect to humans. So I don't know. I kind of like that idea, and that there's about 1 billion different services out there on the internet to connect people. You can even pick somebody from part of the world that you're interested in, and then it'll just connect you to them. I found like 3 different places that do that. So
I do think that something has been lost in the move towards social media and like the immediate email, text, social media, whatever. I think that there's like a depth of connection that written correspondence allows for that is just no longer attainable with our other methods of staying connected. So there is something that's probably valuable there. I don't know. I don't see myself like I have friends who I don't see that often, but I usually, text or hang out or whatever. I don't see me sending them a letter as a means of staying connected, though I am kind of smitten with the idea of it. I
yeah,
don't know.
It's a cute story. Our dad proposed to our mom via a letter when he was on a boat in the Navy. Isn't that
that's
cute?
true. They still have the letter
Yeah,
somewhere.
I know. Isn't that
Oh,
sweet?
that's cool.
But he
Yeah.
had to wait
Yeah.
like 2 weeks for a reply.
I decided to propose to Holly when I was on a boat in the Marine Corps. Does that count? And there's no letter involved, so it's not really germane, but
I think so. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Why not, Travis?
cool. Thanks, guys.
But yeah, that's my closing thoughts. Oh, actually, I had a thought that you had brought up there. Something lost in the going to social media and the instant retrieval. I think there's also something lost in if you write something down and you're like, I shouldn't send this. This is a bad idea. These days you just pump it out there, and then you just have it perpetuates the evil of the internet. But in the old days you could kind of sit and ponder it a little bit before you
Do I want to
Yeah,
put this in the
there's much
mailbox?
more yeah. Sorry. There's much more backspace option when you have it like written. Not only can you stop mid-letter, you can stop after having written the letter, you can stop without sending it. Like there's many times there are many options to take an off ramp on sending that particular
it's true.
letter.
And also it's more private. Like if you send it to somebody, it's not just out there for the world to see. So your arguments that you have on Twitter, you could just have them privately over the mail. You can really get it. You can really get, if it's something you're really steamed about, you can just sit and boil on it for 2 weeks while you wait for a reply.
Now presenting the Postal Piledriver, Travis Braband.
Thanks, guys. That's an absurd title for the low intensity challenge that we've done, but I'll take it. This challenge has been pleasant. I don't know that it's world shaking in its impact in my life, but it has been a nice thing to do. And who knows, maybe some of these celebrities who we have written and poured our heart out to, maybe they'll respond and we'll become best friends. But even short of that, it has been nice sending heartfelt letters and thoughts to friends and family. And as always, it's nice putting a little bit more brightness in the world. So maybe consider doing this in your own lives, people listening. And, happy and excited to maybe receive a letter from one of you guys. And you are both receiving one, or will be receiving one of mine. So something to look forward to. Anyway, thanks, everybody.
You did great. Next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
I don't know if it's true, but that's why we'd try it for 2 weeks.
That sounds like a bunch of hooey to me.
Yeah.
Well,
Humanity has lived on bread for like centuries.
by saying that, Dan, you just put a whole bunch of people in their Ugg boots right on edge.
Also, next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
I think we should keep our bodies chaste of the devil's protein and go gluten-free for 2 weeks.
Oh,